Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a trip back in time, way back, to uncover a story of fire and fury that literally shaped the world as we know it. Forget what you think you know about volcanoes, because we're not talking about your average mountain spewing a bit of lava. We're talking about a supervolcano. Specifically, one lurking right beneath the beautiful, bustling city of Naples, Italy. This is the story of Campi Flegrei, the Phlegrean Fields. Now, when you picture a volcano, you probably imagine a giant cone, right? Like Mount Vesuvius, which is famously nearby. But Campi Flegrei is different. It's sneakier. It's not one single mountain, but a massive, sprawling underground caldera. Basically, a giant collapsed crater stretching over 13 kilometers wide. Much of it is underwater, and the parts on land are dotted with smaller craters, steaming vents, and bubbling mud pits. The whole area is literally breathing. It rises and falls, sometimes by several meters over a few years, in a phenomenon called Bradyism. It's one of the most closely monitored volcanic systems on Earth, and for very good reason. To understand why, we need to rewind the clock about 39,000 years. Back then, Europe was in the grip of the Ice Age. Our early human ancestors, the Neanderthals, roamed the land. But something was about to happen that would change their world forever. Deep beneath what is now the Bay of Naples, a colossal chamber of magma was building pressure. Think of it like shaking a soda can, but on a planetary scale. For thousands of years, the pressure grew until the Earth's crust could no longer contain it. Then, it happened. Campi Flegrei erupted. And this wasn't just an eruption, it was a cataclysm. Geologists call it the Campanian Ignimbrite eruption, and it was the most powerful volcanic event in Europe in the last 200,000 years. It blasted an almost unimaginable amount of rock, ash, and gas into the atmosphere. We're talking about an estimated 300 cubic kilometers of material. To put that into perspective, that's enough to cover the entire city of London in a layer of ash over a kilometer deep. The immediate effects were apocalyptic. A column of ash and gas shot up nearly 40 kilometers into the stratosphere. As this massive column collapsed under its own weight, it created pyroclastic flows, superheated, fast-moving avalanches of ash, rock, and gas, with temperatures of hundreds of degrees Celsius. These flows incinerated everything in their path for up to 100 kilometers, completely burying the landscape. The very ground where Naples now stands was reshaped in a matter of hours. The eruption was so immense that it caused the ground above the magma chamber to collapse, forming the giant caldera we see today. But the impact didn't stop there. The sheer volume of ash launched into the stratosphere was the real game changer. This fine volcanic dust spread across the globe, carried by jet streams. Thick layers of ash from this single eruption have been found as far away as Russia. This massive ash cloud acted like a planetary sunshade, blocking out sunlight and plunging much of the Northern Hemisphere into what's known as a volcanic winter. Imagine the sun dimming, temperatures dropping dramatically for years on end. For a world already in an ice age, this was a devastating blow. The climate cooled even further. Ecosystems collapsed. Plants couldn't get enough sunlight to grow, and the animals that depended on them starved. And what about the early humans living through this? The Neanderthals, who had thrived in Europe for hundreds of thousands of years, were already facing challenges. Some scientists believe this abrupt, severe climate change was the final push that accelerated their decline, paving the way for modern humans, Homo sapiens, to become the dominant species on the continent. It's a fascinating, if debated, theory that a single volcano in Italy might have helped shape the course of human evolution. After the big one, you'd think Campi Flegrei would be done. But supervolcanoes are complex beasts. It had another significant, though smaller, eruption about 15,000 years ago, known as the Neapolitan Yellow Tuff eruption. This event also had a massive impact, further sculpting the local landscape and creating the yellowish rock that was later used by the Greeks and Romans to build the city of Naples itself. It is incredible to think that the city is constructed from the remnants of the very force that could one day threaten it. So what about today? Campi Flegrei is far from extinct. It's very much an active, restless system. The ground is constantly moving, and the area is prone to earthquake swarms. Lots of small tremors that signal magma shifting or gases being released beneath the surface. In the early 1980s, the ground in the town of Pozzuoli rose by almost 2 meters, forcing the evacuation of 30,000 people. The port was lifted completely out of the water. Then the ground began to sink again. This recent activity is a constant reminder of the immense power simmering just a few kilometers below. Scientists at the Vesuvius Observatory are watching it 24/7, using GPS, seismometers, and gas monitoring equipment to track every little bump and burp. Their goal is to understand the system well enough to provide an early warning if another eruption seems imminent. A major eruption today would be a humanitarian catastrophe on a scale that's hard to comprehend. The Naples metropolitan area is home to over 3 million people, all living directly on top of or next to this supervolcano. Evacuating that many people would be an unprecedented challenge, but it's also important to remember the flip side. This volcanic activity has created incredibly fertile soil, making the region perfect for growing delicious food. It's given us geothermal energy and the famous thermal baths that the Romans loved. Life and danger are intertwined here in a way they are in few other places on Earth. The story of Campi Flegrei is a powerful lesson in geology and history. It shows us that the ground beneath our feet is not as solid as it seems, and that massive world-altering events are a natural part of our planet's life cycle. It's a humbling reminder of the incredible forces that have shaped our past and will, without a doubt, shape our future. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into one of the world's most fascinating and dangerous geological wonders. If you enjoyed this journey into prehistoric Italy, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more stories about our amazing world. Let me know in the comments what other geological mysteries you'd like to explore. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.